We've all been there. You've got a problem, a frustration, a complaint. And then comes that awkward conversation where you need to get your point across, whether you're asking for help or trying to get something fixed. But what if you had the perfect words for it, right? Maybe it was a new phone that just died the second you got it home, or a haircut that, well, wasn't what you asked for. It's a feeling we all know, but trust me, knowing how to talk about it effectively can change everything. Well, today, we're going to fix that. We are building a communication toolkit. We're going to break down the simple, powerful words and phrases that turn those frustrating moments into mission accomplished. First things first, you got to realize you are not alone in this. Seriously, everyone, and I mean everyone, has problems they need to solve or, complain about. I mean, just look at these. One person is having a full-on hair catastrophe, asking, what can I possibly do? Someone else is trying to figure out how to deal with acne. These are totally normal, everyday problems that all need one thing: asking for help. So yeah, they're frustrating. But what's the real common thread here? What's the one action they all have to take to get a solution? That's it. They all need to ask for advice. And for that to work, someone else needs to know how to give advice that's actually helpful. And that's the skill we're going to master today. Okay, let's open up this brand new advice toolkit. We're starting with the absolute essential words you need to give clear, effective advice for pretty much any situation. So, before we grab the tools, what are we even talking about? What is advice? It's really simple. It's just an opinion you give someone about what they should do. That's it. But how you deliver that opinion makes all the difference.
All right, tool number 1. This is the big one, the one you'll use all the time. Should and shouldn't. Think of this as your go-to for a friendly suggestion. It's not a command, it's just a helpful opinion. You should see a doctor. It's gentle, it's useful advice.
Okay, now let's crank up the intensity. Must and must not. This isn't just a suggestion anymore. This is for something that is absolutely necessary, usually for rules or for safety. Think about the label on a can of hairspray. You must use on your head only. It's serious. There's no negotiation here. And for our last tool, we have the most urgent of all, had better. You pull this one out when you're giving strong advice that comes with a warning. There's a consequence if you ignore it. You had better eat healthy food, or else, right? You can almost hear the warning in the phrase itself. All right, so we've got our tools, should, must, and had better. Now, let's see how they work in the real world. And let's be honest, there's no better test of your complaint skills than trying to return something to a store. So here's the scenario. A customer wants to return a pair of jeans. It sounds simple, right? But as we all know, it rarely is. And right away, the salesperson puts up a defense. She's explaining, hey, these aren't broken. They're just fashion. She says they're supposed to look that way. This is such a classic moment in any complaint. Is it a feature or is it a flaw? But look at this. The customer is ready. She doesn't argue about style. She says, I understand that. And then she pivots to the real issue, the quality. And she uses this absolutely perfect word to make her point impossible to ignore. And that killer word is flimsy. It perfectly describes the problem. It completely gets around the style argument and puts the focus on the material being thin, weak, and just not well made. See how using a precise word like that is so powerful? Now, before we go any further, here's a quick little pronunciation tip that came up. When you have compound nouns, that's two words that make up one thing, you always stress the first word. So it's not a bathtub, it's a bathtub. It's not a hair dryer, it's a hair dryer. It's a tiny little thing, but it makes you sound so much more natural. Okay, so a really effective complaint isn't just about one word. It's about stringing them together with polite and effective phrases. So let's dive back into that conversation at the store and pull out some of the real talk they used. This breaks down the strategy so well. Check it out. The customer uses the phrase, if you could, which totally softens her request. It makes it polite instead of a demand. And on the flip side, the salesperson says, it sounds like, to show she's actually listening and gets what the problem is. Both of these are absolutely key to getting to a solution. So let's just boil it all down. When you need to make a polite request, try starting with, if you could. And when you want to show someone you understand their complaint, start with, it sounds like. Seriously, add these two phrases to your toolkit. You'll use them all the time. So now it's your turn. You have your new toolkit. So how would you complain about a brand new bathtub that leaks? Think about it. Which word would you use? Should, must, or had better? And how would you use a phrase like, if you could, to get the job done? That right there is how you turn a complaint into a real solution.